To see you, dude.
Yeah, hey, you too. What are you drinking?
I'm just drinking a custom blend right now. Has a Cassandra berries, rose petals, mate, orange peel, lemon peel, just all sorts of citrusy stuff, man.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah,
You
I
know
got a
me.
little blend going down. I was gonna use Kraus and I ran out, so it's about three quarters Kraus and then one quarter Cruz de Malta.
Oh,
Little,
nice, man. Nice.
yeah.
How's that craft treating you? Good stuff, no?
Oh, it's great. I mean, it's been my go-to for a very long time when I can get it. Sometimes
Yeah,
I just don't even know where to get it from. Sometimes I can find it, but it's all over.
of course, man. Yeah, I was recently with Milton Krause. We spent about a couple weeks together in Misiones several months ago. We were just driving around, walking around the farm, and I stayed at his farm actually.
Nice.
Yeah, dude, it was really crazy experience.
So are you in New York right now, or are you in?
Yeah, right now I'm in New York. I'm kind of just back and forth. I just did a 3 month stint in Buenos Aires recently,
Okay, yeah.
and I'm getting ready to go back soon. Probably in the next several weeks, I'll be back over there, handle some different business. Yeah, we're doing a lot of different things now. We're starting to like export globally now from Argentina to other countries. So yeah.
So you're trying to make that more of your base?
No, well, yeah. I mean, I really love Argentina so much, as you know.
Yeah.
I have a lot
Amazing.
of connections there. A lot of people I call really good friends, great friends. So, every time I'm there, my people over there are like, "No, don't leave. You got to stay." So eventually, I think I'm just gonna like maybe buy a place over there, a little apartment or something, just stay there for pretty much maybe 90% out of the year. That's kind of where I'm heading. So
That's awesome.
yeah, man. We have Anna. Anna, what's going on? This is Matt, Anna.
Hi.
It's nice to see you again.
Hi.
Salud.
Salud.
Yes.
Hi.
Matt, this is good because Anna actually has a business too, an online yerba mate business.
Okay, very cool.
Yep, she's importing from Argentina, selling mate, everything. Gord's doing a really good job on that.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh, look at your thing in the back. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Who are we talking to?
That's not what
Sorry.
Oh, no, it's cool. It's cool.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I hope to have that.
Nice. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
This is the live business right here.
Exactly.
And Pam's going to join us.
Okay. Pam's your partner? Who's Pam?
Yes, this is my
Awesome.
partner.
Awesome. Well, we welcome Pam. We welcome everybody who's watching this and joining. Matt reached out to me last week, and he just asked me for some advice on starting an online tea business. So I said, all right, let's just have a circle, an online circle, so everybody could benefit.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. That's very generous.
You got to share. You got to share. If you're not sharing, then you're not living. So, you have to share what you know with the world. That's what I always believed. So, you got to help.
Why not do it over mate, right?
Why not do it over mate, right?
So funny. Mm-hmm. Can I tell you how funny it is still for me to see Americans drinking mate? Like I love it. I love it.
It's awesome, right?
Yeah.
Well, I love it too, because it's like when I first started drinking mate, not to go into that, but it just wasn't as what is happening now with people just finding out about it, getting the gourd, getting the bombisha. So it's really good to see that happening right now.
It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
So Matt, let me ask you, man. I know you have a lot of questions for me, and
sure.
Maybe we'll just start like that. So you're thinking about starting a green tea business, or just alt teas, or?
Yeah, so pretty much what I want to be doing is all teas. Mate would even have a place in there just because I love it so much. But yeah, all kinds: green tea, black tea, pu'er, whatever. This is my cat, by the way, who just decided to jump up on me. So hello. But yeah, so it'd be all kinds of stuff like that. I've been into loose leaf tea forever, and I feel like it has a weird sort of stigma in the States and other places as this thing that's way too hard to get into. And so people just go to Teavana, or they go get, Lipton tea bags or whatever. And I want to try to make that a little more accessible and show that loose leaf tea is something that can be done by anyone and is a great way to kind of stop and just have a little time with something for a while. It's very similar to mate, it's all the same.
Yeah. I think that's a really good way to think and good way to look at it, because tea is growing, I think, even faster than coffee right now. So
Yeah.
it's really has explosive growth right now. So you're in the right place. I always tell people who are interested in tea and entrepreneurship, I'm like, listen, there's never been a better time to start an online tea business than right now.
Yeah.
I think, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that, just kind of like the way you do it too, it can be also run from anywhere. I mean, can be in New York, you can go be in Argentina, wherever you are. As long as you got internet, man, you can pretty much be holding down the fort. So
absolutely. That's what's the beauty of the internet, you know? Like, you don't need to be in a physical location.
No, plus you're able to reach so many more people like that, which is another thing that I'm really excited about is, you know, you have the entire internet and all the people that are on there to be able to see what you got. So
it's the future, man. So tell me where you're at right now. I know you're saying it's just an idea right now, but did you think about anything like a company name or a website or domain names, anything like that so far? Just so I have an idea where to start. Kind of direct you.
Yeah, I mean, I've come up with a bunch of different names. I don't really know where yet. So I think the part of it that it's at right now is that I know what I would like it to be, and I know what I would like it to look like. I don't have the exact details, but I know that, yeah, I just have the framework, I guess you would say, but it's the details are the parts that I'm not sure about. And that's kind of where I was, you know.
Of course. Well,
I have the passion and all that, but that's about it.
No, that's good though. The fact that you're talking to me right now and Anna's here, it shows that you're comfortable moving forward with uncertainty. That's the real quality that every entrepreneur really needs. You need to be able to move forward in uncertain times, uncertainty, period. So, you know, I'll just tell you kind of the process I go through when starting a company or online business. It's definitely not the way for everybody, but what I go through is, you know, for me, the big thing is coming up with the brand identity first. When I say brand, don't take it too literally in terms of logo. A brand is more of a philosophy in my mind. Okay. Brand is who you are, what your company is, what your company is about, the integrity, your values, and then that kind of determines the aesthetics of the design or the sales channels, the website. Everything else comes after the foundation of your identity, the brand identity. So that's the most important thing to focus on, in my opinion, initially, is to just say, okay, who am I? What do I want to do? How do I want to help people? What are my values? And then from there, you say, okay, now I like green colors and I like, you know, red colors. So let me start to focus on coming up with designs for logos, things like that. Just everything right now is about free association. You know, for you, just don't be too tied on anything right now. Keep your mind super loose right now. And I think that's where you're at. But now after that, then you say, okay, you already said you want to start a business. You already have the intention, what you need. Without the intention, you can't do anything. You need that intention, which you already have. Then you say, okay, now let me get to the nitty gritty details. And for me, since I'm an internet entrepreneur, then my second step is to go to GoDaddy and start to come up with names. Come up with names and to see if the domain is free, because you could come up with the best name for a company, but if the domain is not free, you're in trouble. You need the domain to be free. So once you come up with your name that you feel good about, your company name, then you want to start to acquire the platforms. When I say acquire the platforms, it means you got to go claim the YouTube page right away, the Twitter page, every single online presence you need to control. That's just how it works, because as your company grows, if you don't control the YouTube page and you don't control the Twitter page and you don't control the Facebook page, somebody later on, I hate to say it, but could be like, take it and then basically hold it for ransom. I've seen it happen. It's happened to me. It's happened to so many people. So you got to really just from the beginning, once you have the name, just acquire all the social media outlets of that particular name. And it's not hard. You just literally just go to YouTube and all the social media sites, and you just apply for the name, and that's it. You get your domain name, the .com at least, and you just need the .com. You could go ahead and buy all the domains like the .net. I don't think you need to be honest. Just buy the .com, maybe the .net. And then here's a little secret, also buy the China version of the name as well, the CN, the .cn, because China is a whole nother market. I don't want to get outside this video, but you're going to want to buy the China version of the domain as well.
Okay.
So after you get your domain, then you got to think about, okay, how do I want to sell these things online? Do I want to have my own website? Do I want to have an Amazon page? Do I want to have an eBay page, a Shopify page? What? I'm a little biased. I'm a big proponent of WordPress. I love WordPress.
Okay.
Only because I think I also have a background in technology. So I like systems that allow me where I can physically program things manually. So I like WordPress, but you don't necessarily need to go that route. You could start a website literally in 30 seconds with Shopify,
Right.
or Etsy, or just start on eBay if you want. But I'm a firm believer that you need to control your own store, no matter what you do. Because think about it this way. If you just focus on Amazon or eBay, which most people do, quite frankly, because they don't know any better, if Amazon or eBay decides to shut you down one day, for whatever reason that they have, you're done. You know, so say you built up a $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, $1 million business, and then Amazon shuts you down one day because some customer doesn't like you and they sabotaged you. Then you went from zero, from 100 to 0 overnight.
Right.
So you don't want to put your power in the hands of other people. You still want to control power. So you're gonna have to control your own website no matter what.
Okay.
So the way you do that is just you could do a WordPress and just start a free website with WordPress. You know, you don't need to go crazy in the beginning. Later on, as you grow, you're going to want to modify things and bring in a team. And when I say teams, don't worry, it's not going to be expensive. You could hire people to do things very cheap nowadays.
Okay.
To modify everything, to do your own design, to do your own logo, to do, you know, to customize the shopping cart on your web page. Later on, you're going to want to do those things, but in the beginning, you don't have to worry about that. I highly recommend a website called Upwork.com. This is where you hire contractors to do all these things for you. And you get to vet them and check them out, and you only pay them once they do the job. So how do you feel so far? I know it's a lot of information.
It's great. Before we continue, though, I don't know if it's on my end or not, but it's like
echo, right?
Yeah.
Oh, let me try to fix that. Let me just mute everybody out besides us from the audio, because I think a lot of people have their audio on too. And Anna, feel free if you want to jump in with any advice or anything like that. You're more than welcome.
I don't have advice. Are you kidding? I'm you know, no, I'm soaking it all in. The only question that I had was that we tried to put things on Amazon and had one heck of a time. So
yeah,
even though we had our site, we were also trying to post things on Amazon. Do you suggest that? I mean, do you have that?
No, I don't sell on Amazon.
Okay.
Not because I don't think that you should. It's just that I don't know. Let me try to fix that echo.
No.
Yeah, now I hear.
Let me see. I'm just gonna mute everybody temporarily. Let's see if I can fix the echo. Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to work through the echo, guys.
Not that bad.
Cool. Sorry about that. So yeah, Amazon, you know, you're gonna want to go onto Amazon and use Amazon eventually, but I don't think that this is the thing about Amazon. They have a really interesting contract where technically, if you start to sell on Amazon and then you take your brand off Amazon one day, Amazon still holds the right to sell your products.
That's true.
Yeah, so it's a little risky in that term, you know, in that respect. You're basically granting Amazon rights over your brand, which is why I personally don't sell on Amazon, because I don't like that in the contract. But I don't think that should deter people from selling on Amazon, because, you know, I truly believe that Amazon does a good thing, helps people out. I do sell on eBay. I like eBay as a platform to sell things. It's a whole nother audience on eBay. I think that's a good sales channel to get your products out there. But primarily, I would say 90% of my business is focused on my own personal website that I control 100%. And I think that's the base. Everybody needs a base. You need the hub. You could have the spokes, many spokes all over the place, Amazon, eBay, whatever you use, but you need the hub. You need your own website that you completely control.
Dave,
So I think that's important. I'm sorry?
Can you hear me? This is Pam.
Yeah.
I'm the coward who doesn't have her camera on because she just got back from
Oh,
garden.
no.
And my hair
That's
is crazy and I just can't handle it.
No, please.
So what platform do you use for your website?
I use WordPress. I use two principal platforms that speak to each other. They're called WordPress is the main one, which I'm sure you heard of.
Shopify.
And then there's another WooCommerce.
Oh.
So WooCommerce plugs into WordPress to allow your WordPress to become an e-commerce website, essentially. So I use those two platforms that speak to each other perfectly. They're designed to speak to each other. And it's as simple as literally downloading WordPress and then downloading WooCommerce and then just inserting WooCommerce. It's called a plugin into WordPress. And that's it. You have an e-commerce website within minutes.
Well, we kind of do something similar. Anna and I are working together on Love from Argentina.
Yeah.
And we work in Squarespace.
Yep.
Which I love. And it's my issue with WordPress is it's difficult to create a pretty site where I really want my site to be super pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the e-commerce that's already built in. We use Stripe as our credit card that you can process through Squarespace. Our problem is shipping. That they have kind of a flat fee for whatever we ship, and it costs a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I love what you just said about Amazon because I worked with another company that was selling on Amazon, and then we pulled it, and indeed, definitely still have the rights, and they will resell and help people who are reselling your product.
Absolutely. Yeah. Amazon is dangerous like that. I have a lot of respect for Amazon, Jeff Bezos, but the thing with Amazon is that they're this huge conglomerate and they're unstoppable at this point. Not to say that they should be stopped, but I love Amazon. But they'll do anything in their power to basically control a particular category. So that's why they call me. Yeah, they call me at least 3-4 times a year trying to convince me to sell on them. They're like, "Oh, we've been watching you. We want you so badly to come onto Amazon." And I always say no because I don't like the contract. I read their contracts. I don't like it.
But consider it a compliment. That's huge that they call you and reach out to you.
Thank you. But to speak about the shipping, and this will help you too, Matt.
Yeah.
So this is how it works with shipping. Companies like Squarespace and even WordPress and different online companies that allow you to sell products through their platforms, what they do is they basically negotiate rates with United States Postal Service, FedEx, all these companies, and then they basically resell you their rates for a markup. And they're profiting, as they should, from providing that service. The way to get around that, there's two principal ways, in my opinion, to get around that. You could start your own shipping account directly with one of these main providers and go right around them, such as Indicia or Stamps.com. I was using Indicia for 5 years up until a month ago. And then I finally switched over to a company called ShipStation.com.
Okay.
So you're what you call a fulfillment company. Essentially, it doesn't matter how many sales channels you have, whether it's Amazon, eBay, your own website. ShipStation is great because they allow all your orders to come into one interface. And once they come into this one interface, you could ship out through them, and their rates are great. Their rates are much better than if you were to go to just Stamps.com or Indicia. Those two companies are actually merged now. But so ShipStation is great. I highly recommend it. I'm having a good time with them right now, using them.
I'm really gonna try it. Definitely.
Yeah, it's a free trial. You could do a month free trial and try it out. And their rates are really good. I really find that their rates are good. And Matt, definitely pay attention to this because a large part of this online selling has a lot to do with shipping.
Yep.
Right.
And that's one of the pitfalls I see with a lot of new people. They don't know about shipping rates, and they don't know if they're overpaying. So you could lose a fortune in shipping if you don't know what you're doing.
Sure.
So you definitely want to dedicate time just to focusing on the logistics aspect of the company.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, shipping especially, and the product itself, because that was one of the main concerns that I've had so far, is that I know what the product is, I know what I would want to be selling, but I don't want to be going through a middleman of any kind. I want to be getting the tea from the farmers that I know I'm getting it from, that my customers they can trust, like, yeah, okay, he knows where he's getting it from and whatever, but how do I even go about that? I mean, am I going to have to be flying out to Japan and China and stuff? Like, how am I actually acquiring the product?
All right, no, that's a good question. So I think that there's a mixture of ways to go about this. Now, I think it's smart in the beginning, to tell you the truth, to work with the startup. They think they need to go to the source. You don't necessarily need to go to the source, but ultimately you're going to want to go to the source. But in the beginning, there's so many options. There's so many reliable distributors. Like for me, when I was living in Argentina for several years, I was slowly building up contacts, slowly building up trust with people. And I always had people around me at the time when I didn't speak Spanish who were doing a lot of work for me. They were helping me. They were closing a lot of deals for me. Doing a lot of translations. Until once I had a grasp on the language, then I was closing my own deals with suppliers. But in the beginning, for instance, let me give you a real example. There's people in Japan and China right now who we help them out just with the logistics, because they don't want to deal with the logistics, and that's okay. Some people don't want to deal with the FedEx, airway bills. The logistical aspect of shipping things in terms of country to country could be a nightmare. So that's why I pivoted my company basically to also provide logistical services for people, because when I first started my company, I got lucky. My partner had his own logistical company to begin with in Argentina. So I was able to plug into his own company that was already handling logistics and shipping, and we formed a partnership. So from the beginning, I was kind of lucky like that. Not everyone has that situation in the beginning. So for you, I would start to research really good distributors. Distributors in Germany. A lot of tea comes into Germany, believe it or not. A lot of global imports comes into Germany. Just start to do some research. Google searches, YouTube searches, and there's different databases I'm sure you can find online, and start making calls. Just call people and just talk to them, and you'll be surprised that you can find sources on your own in the beginning. Sure. Ultimately, you're going to want to go to the countries if you can to do at least a visit. I think that's always the best in terms of when you start to get bigger, but in the beginning, I wouldn't make that a priority. No, I would say find distributors. Because remember, it's about your brand too. Think about it this way. There's many situations where you could actually make more money, not to focus this all on money, but you can make more money sometimes buying from a distributor than going to the source. That sounds like it doesn't make sense, I know, but it's true, because if your brand...
Perfect sense.
Exactly. Yeah, some people they don't understand that, but it's about the brand. If your brand is strong and you have recognition and you have trust, then you are essentially able to command premium prices. And if you can command a premium price, your margins will expand. And as your margins expand, you may say, okay, well, now let me think about scale. So if I could deal with a distributor, and those of you that don't know, scale is more, as you grow, how do you automate things so you grow faster without doing as much work, physical work? That's what scaling is about. So you could scale with a distributor.
Scalable. To be scalable is really important. But what Anna and I really are talking about is that this is a subculture.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. We're not tea purveyors. We're not selling tea. We're selling a way of communication, like bonding, and improving quality of life.
That's right. Absolutely.
So huge. And Anna is from Argentina. So the way that we say this, love from Argentina, our brand is emotion. And so I love the idea of not being about the product, but being about creating a subculture, a really tight-knit community of people who share a similar philosophy.
Exactly. And that's the power. That's the protection. Because, you know, and this works for you, Matt. Think about it this way. No matter what tea you source or where you get it from, if you don't have the culture of your company, if that's not in place, then you can only go so far. So it's really about building the culture, you know, and then bringing in the product.
And that was one of my questions that I was actually going to ask, which if you could elaborate a little more of how, for your business, were you able to build that community of people? Circle of Drink, I mean, yeah, you can buy mate off your website, but it's way more than just buying a product. There's a million tea sites that you can just go buy a product, but your Circle of Drink really has that community feel. How do you build that?
So that's a good question. Before I even started the company, I knew, you know, before I started selling products, I told myself, I said, all right, I'm not going to try to pretend to be somebody who I'm not. So I needed to spend time educating myself on mate before I ever sold anything to anybody. So I spent the first year and a half just as a blog, just sharing information. And, you know, when people say content is king on the internet, it's true. You need content and you need to educate people. So what you do is, you know, there's websites that allow online lists that allow you to capture people's emails, right? In exchange for something. So maybe when you first start your website, you're not selling anything, but you essentially have a blog.
Okay.
And then you use a system like Aweber or any one of the newsletter systems, and essentially come up with one page that says, okay, thank you for visiting the website. If you'd like some more information on these particular types of tea, please just fill in your name and your email. And then you start something called the nurture sequence. This is very important, and most people don't know about.
Okay.
A nurture sequence is a newsletter that's automated. So you could literally already create maybe 10 articles, focused articles.
I was going to say you did that really well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
When you write back and you, I forget, like the 5 days of, I don't know, but it was brilliant.
Oh, thank you. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. That was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. That's the perfect example of a nurture sequence, what I call a nurture sequence. You just give away free information, you build trust.
Sure.
And the systems, I use a system called Drip. Okay. I don't recommend it for people in the beginning because it's expensive, very expensive. But in the beginning, you can use Aweber, which is much cheaper. Aweber.
Because in essence, you're compiling a database.
Exactly. And once you compile the database, say you want to have a sale or an offer, and you already have several thousand people who already trust you, right? Because you've been giving them information for years for free. So now you could say, okay, I'm moving into a new territory, and I want to raise some capital on my own. So you may have a campaign or a sale where you just want to raise several $1,000s really quickly to do something with your business. That's where the power of the list is as well. You can start to use the list as your own funding source, essentially, if you know how to do it. So those are different, a little bit more complicated things, but the essential thing to do in the beginning is to build a list. You need to build a list right away.
Okay.
You need to build a list, and you need to feed them your brand, your education. Start a Facebook page, start a Facebook group.
Justin.
Go for it. And that's it. In the beginning.
Yeah.
Join
Can I
our
ask a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm so sorry. I wanted to go back to something that you were talking about before regarding scale.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying that you buy things in bulk and then you repackage, or are you buying them? Is that what you mean?
So scale there's different types of scale and different contexts. The context I was talking about was speed, essentially. So as your business grows, you begin to find out, ways to make your business more efficient in terms of being able to purchase products quicker at larger quantities for less amounts of money, or you start to automate things quicker and faster. That's what I'm referring to with scale. So I have a mixture of all sorts of things I do, where I'm buying from distributors, I'm buying from competitors that may not even know I'm buying from them, and I have about 10 to 20 different. My business is like a moving organism. It's alive. It's we deal with so many different suppliers and sources that you got to think non-linear when you're starting a business. You can't think too linear.
And especially when dealing with other countries, right? Because they're not linear. I mean, it's
exactly.
insane.
Exactly. They're not linear at all.
Especially Argentina, right? I mean, especially they're crazy.
That's what I tell people. Yeah, Argentina, it's a whole other system to navigate when you're dealing with Argentinians and the business over there. You really need people on the ground, in my opinion, if you're sourcing mate. Because a lot of times when people want to start a mate business, they don't know the prices, the true prices of the mate. So they deal with these middlemen. And Argentinians, I love them. They're my people. But if they know that you don't know about these things, they're going to take you. They're going to take you for a ride. Just like any, so.
Capitalism at its best.
Yeah.
When I think of becoming scalable, I think what you said was very interesting, is that as you grow and you have more income, then you're able to create more passive income by automating certain procedures so that you can oversee everything. When you sign up or you sign up for my database, I want you to get an automated text from me saying, "Welcome to Love from Argentina. We can't wait to hear from you." But if you email us or there's a second follow-up, I want that to be personal. I want that. Anna and I are so happy to meet you.
Yeah, it's necessary.
Our tribe now. We are one. So this, for me, scalable is growing and delegating to automated as well as to lower people in our company to be able to be responsible so we can continue to grow at scale.
Yes. Absolutely. And there's a big revolution happening right now with what they basically call automated customer service websites. Yeah, exactly. So I recommend things like OLARC or even Salesforce or Zendesk, where they have these sort of automated hello messages and different Zendesk. So that's a way to automate things. Yeah, you're right, Pamela. It's all about automation. As soon as you can automate things, the better. And what was that? I'm sorry?
Still remain personal. I want to automate, but
exactly.
I don't want it to feel cold. I want it to feel like, so even when somebody buys something through the site, Squarespace has an automated thank you. I personalized it. So it says, thank you so much. Seriously, if you have any questions, we're here for you. So let's talk. Because you can feel, I think people have become more educated as to what an auto text is or an auto response is.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to tweak it a little bit.
So true.
But then I also don't want to lose the personalization. I mean, I think it's important to be there because that's our brand. I mean, Love from Argentina really is, we're not, as I said before, we're not selling tea. We're really about a subculture of people who we want to connect with. Our byline is connecting the world one mate at a time.
I love that.
And that's really how we feel. It's like, oh, one more, and one more, and
expanding the circle.
Yep.
Exactly. I'm gonna go put my chair on the sidewalk soon and just have the neighbors stop by. The chair. Good to see you. Let's have some mate.
No, I totally agree. And what you said about customer service, and Matt, this definitely applies.
Sure.
Nowadays the companies in my mind that aren't going to make it are the companies that have horrible customer service. And there's so many of these big companies that they've gotten so successful financially speaking that they started to kind of fall apart in terms of customer service. So, you know, you got to really focus on customer service, give the best service as fast as you can, be as most reliable as you can. And if you do that, there's going to be so many people that just buy off you just because of that, and they're not going to care about the prices as much. Believe me.
David, what do you do about returns? What do you do when somebody says, "I don't like this tea. I you know, or my my mate is leaking," or what's your policy on returns?
So my policy is a little different than probably most people's. My policy is I always just try to make the customer happy with returns. So I have a basic, basically I'll allow any return at any given time, for any reason, to tell you the truth. And I found that for me, when people see that, they don't want to screw you over. When they see that you're just like, wow, this person's really going to give this return really quick, no problem. Then a lot of times I've had some people who wanted to return something, and then they saw that I was willing to basically allow them to return it so quickly. They were like, you know what? Wow, I don't even want to return it now. Like, your customer service was so good.
I love it.
Here, you know, like I've had that happen so many times that has showed me the faith in humanity, where you just have really good customer service and you back up your products. Then you're gonna have a few bad apples to try to manipulate you, but for the most part, you know, people just want to return things for no reason. For the most part, if someone wants to return something, maybe they legitimately don't like it, then fine. My recommendation is just fine. Just return it, be nice about it, and then that just kind of creates better wellness for everybody, good vibes, and then your business grows.
One more step, just like thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
For our attention. And now we know we definitely need to hone this shopping cart more. And I'm sorry, we just got the new colors in, but you can't even thank you enough for telling us about this. And here's a $10 gift certificate, and you don't have to product. And
of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And it's all about building that. Once you build the trust, you could do anything, because, you know, once you have the trust and a base of customers, you could do things like, for instance, and this is a little bit more advanced, but you could do things like, say you wanted to start a new gourd, say you were selling gourds, or start a new line of tea. You could say, listen, guys, I'm going to release this line of tea in 3 weeks. But for those of you guys that want to buy it now, you're going to get 20% off. And then what you're doing is basically they trust you so much that essentially you're basically getting a interest-free loan, essentially. That's what's happening. Where people believe in your company so much that they're giving you the money before you even have the product. I've done this so many times, and it works perfectly because people trust me and trust my company.
Brilliant.
And that's it. So you can start to do really good things. This is what scale is. You know, once you have the customer base, you have the trust, then you start to scale and maneuver like this. But in the beginning, it's all about trust and building up your customers.
And do you send them an email, or do you do a Facebook group post?
I do both. So I send an email. I use a system called Drip, which I don't recommend to some people starting out because it's a little expensive. It's like $100 a month. It's a little expensive, but
the constant contact is getting to be that much. I mean, even if you have 500 people, it's going to be $45 a month, and I don't get what I would get with Drip. So,
the thing with Drip, it allows you to do something called triggers, which is another situation where you can set up a situation on your website where, say, for instance, you notice there's 10% of your customers are going to this one page to look at this one article. You could set up these rules. They're called trigger rules, where you could say, okay, well, these customers have visited this page this amount of times, so now start to send them certain emails to sell them that product automatically in a sequence of every 5 days or every 20 days.
Like a sub database, like a preferred customer.
Yeah, exactly. That's getting into like artificial intelligence, things like that, which is another thing. But I've always relied on these sort of things because I understood them well. I like them. I like the whole idea of automation.
Me too.
So, those are things that I try not to tell people so much about them in the beginning because it's a little overwhelming.
Sure.
But Matt, this is good for you to hear this because, when you really want to set yourself apart, you've got to understand how these things work and automation, or you got to have someone on your team who understands these things. I'm a little unique because I understand the technology. My background's in technology. So I'm able to use my background in technology constantly to figure things out. to push the company forward.
That's why Anna and I are good, because Anna is authentic, really from Argentina, and I'm a computer nerd.
Oh, it's perfect combination.
We're good.
Perfect combination. It's the perfect combination. So yeah.
Often Pam will write me an email. Why did you post such and such? And I'm like,
Yeah. No, that's good. No, you get a good partnership.
Read me one on an email because I posted something goofy.
Now you need that though, because it's like me. Now you need that back and forth, because it's like my business partner in Argentina, he has a whole different personality than I do, and there'll be things that I do, and he's like, Dave, what's going on? Like, you gotta chill out. But I'm like, no, we gotta go further. Yeah, it's a good combination.
Have you heard of
What was that?
I was gonna say that's really interesting too, and something to bring in is like that relationship with the other country, because there's a whole different world of customs, a whole different world of attitude, of the way they do business, right? We're very fast, and when I say I'm gonna call at 2, it's at 2, and I'm gonna, pick up something, right? And they're like, 2:45.
Yeah, totally different.
No. Or every time I order the mates, my hand to God, they're a different price, right? Yep. And the guy doesn't realize that I've written it down from last time, right? The guy doesn't, and I'm like, well, last time, right? So then I have like an intermediary down there that, that is from there, has an accent from there, and I'm like, okay, you just deal with them, because, you'll have your way, because he could tell right away, I don't live there.
Of course. And yeah, those are some of the problems I dealt with in the beginning, where
and I'm female, which is also a different thing there.
I know.
It matters.
Women in business, we have to put on lipstick.
I can imagine. I can imagine that. Yeah, that creates a whole other dynamic. Unfortunately,
they're like, "Oh, little girl," I'm like,
no. It's all right. Don't mess with us. We may look good, but we're strong.
Tini, this is an interesting point when you're dealing with global purchases. See, for me, I like to track exchange rate charts. I have my own exchange rate chart, so I follow the currencies that I'm dealing with. So I basically, every time I make a purchase from Argentina, I'm a big proponent of Google Drive. If you don't have a account ready with Google Drive, use them. Google Drive is essentially an online storage. Think of it as a digital inventory of data, of information, where you could store customer information. Yeah. And, you could use the Excel sheets on Google Drive to do a lot of calculations and store a lot of information about your business and track the historical prices you paid for things. So you could look back at it and say, okay, last April 2016, I paid, $20 for this. And now this, supplier a year later has increased the price but the exchange rate hasn't changed. So why is this? Without the data, without having those numbers, and, you're going to be at a great disadvantage. And this is where I see a lot of entrepreneurs falling short. They're not looking at the numbers. Sure. You got to really be able to hang with, you need at least one numbers guy in your business. So somebody that really understands numbers pretty well. You don't need to be a genius or anything. You just need to know numbers work in terms of profit margins. You need to know these things.
That they would increase their price if the exchange rate had changed. But if the exchange rate hasn't changed and they're just upping their price for reason, then you got to kind of call them out and go, I'm really sorry, but you can share the Google Drive doc with them. Hey, just
there you go.
Oh yeah. No, there's been so many times that happens. So many times, like even with me, I remember about a year ago, I was dealing with somebody in Brazil, and I was trying to make a reorder because I have a guy on the ground and different guys on the ground in different countries. So I was dealing with somebody in Brazil, and they gave me a price. They invoiced me for something, and I said, this is kind of weird because I never just pay an invoice. I always look back at the historical prices, and this is where Google Drive really helped me. So I looked back at the historical prices, and I said, oh, this price is like tripled. And I brought it to their attention, and they said, all right, no, this is the price, this is what I always charged you. And I was like, no, this is, I showed them, the transactions, and then they were like, they figured out that I was right.
Yep.
So if I just blindly paid that, I would have lost a lot of money.
Exactly. And it's nickel and dime. You got to watch
nickel and dime, of course.
Everything. David, what do you think about Bitcoins?
Oh, don't get me started. I'm huge on Bitcoin. I'm an investor. I move it around. I trade it. I do all sorts of things with Bitcoin. I think it's the future. I actually accept Bitcoin as a form of payment on my website.
Accept Bitcoins. I really do. I want us to.
Yeah.
Now Squarespace is allowing me to implement that as a potential exchange. So I think Bitcoins are definitely a very interesting, universal, and easily tracked exchange rate, although it does change drastically. Bitcoin's down, and so you got to really kind of wear your heart on your sleeve. I mean, I'm way more conservative, but I think Bitcoins are the future for sure.
No, yeah, I'm happy you brought that up. And just for the people who are watching that don't know what Bitcoin is, crazy about it, it's essentially a digital currency, what you call cryptocurrency. It's a currency of the internet. Nobody controls it. It's totally decentralized. It's also a store of value. It allows you to store monetary value in something called a token, or otherwise known as a Bitcoin, or there's several hundred different tokens out there, but Bitcoin's the most popular one. It allows you to accept payments, give people payments without using a bank, which is amazing. The banks have nothing to do with this. So Bitcoin is something that if you can, try to offer it as a form of payment on your website. It probably will increase sales. I have some customers who only pay me in Bitcoin.
Wow.
Which is great.
That's
so
cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nerd dance in the office chair. Woohoo!
What is Ross? Oh, Ross is asking, what is the value based in then? Well, the value is based in the same exact value that's based in the United States fiat currency, the dollar. In the beginning, not to go too crazy here, but in the beginning, as you know, dollar used to be backed up by gold, right? Then we changed that, and the dollar now is not backed up by gold. It's backed up by faith. The faith in the American people and the people all throughout the world who believe that a dollar is worth this amount. Same thing with digital currency. It's a fiat currency now, supported by the faith of the people who control it. So that's what, in my opinion, money really is at this point. It's just trust in a vehicle, a certain sort of vehicle, and that vehicle may be, physical cotton dollars, or maybe digital currency. So, opinion, digital currency.
Right.
So Matt,
all right, well,
do you have any more specific questions that I could help you out with?
Yeah. So this one's a little broader.
A little brainstorm we have.
Yeah, no, it's good. This is a little broader of a question, more directed at your specific business.
Yeah.
If you could go back to when you were starting Circle of Drink, what would you tell your past self now to do differently? Not all of it, but are there some specific things that you look back and go, I would have, done whatever?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely would have said not to try to do everything on your own. In the beginning, for the first several years, I tried to basically, I would try to control the company too much on my own. Some people in the world are able to kind of do a lot of different things. They're just able to do they're able to juggle a lot of balls. And I'm kind of one of those people. So in the beginning of the company, I tried to just focus so much on my own, do it on my own. But then I realized that's not how you grow. That's not how you expand. You want to work with people. You have to work with people. You have to get the right people on board. You got to get really smart people. Like, for instance, in the beginning of my company, I should have reached out to people much smarter than myself. Now I deal with people who are much smarter than me helping me out with different things. And it has allowed me to grow much faster. Like in the beginning, I tried to program my website on my own because I knew about programming. I know about design, so I designed the website on my own, which is great. But then I've begun to realize the value in bringing in the experts, bringing in the people who really are focused in. So I work with engineers now, software engineers, and I work with people who just focus on helping me with the design direction. And it's allowed me to grow much faster. I wish I would have done that in the beginning. In the beginning, I was focused too much on trying to do everything on my own. So don't make that mistake. You know, try to really reach out to people and get them on board. You know, really, you know, dedicated and smart people, get them on board. Grow like that. Don't just try to do everything on your own.
Sure.
You know?
Okay. Yeah.
Now, said then done.
Stupid question. How many years have you been at this?
So
at the Circle of Drink, like when
that was my next question.
Yeah. So in 2011, that was the first time I actually started circleofdrink.com in 2011. That was 2 years after living in Argentina, and then I had an idea with one of my brothers, actually, my younger brother at the time, where we were just going to start and blog about different mates. So in 2011, I started the blog. And then about a year and a half after that, I actually started a formal company selling products. So I've been at it for the company about 5 years, just over 5 years.
Crazy.
Yeah, not too long.
Now, what about, and this is a much more specific question, money. I mean, how... You know, I need to get bags. I got to be able to buy the product first before I can sell it back. I mean, is this something that I would have to, do I have to keep working as a barista for the next 5 years to save up money and then start this? I mean, how do you know?
So I'll tell you what I did. Again, my situation's a little unique. Like I said, I was this company blogs on business. So what I did was I took a big risk. When I realized that I wanted to focus all my energy on mate, I essentially liquidated my assets, my websites. I sold them all. I sold them all to different people.
Wow.
I took that money and dumped it all into Circle of Drink. Now, you don't have those sort of assets to liquidate, but that shouldn't stop you. That's okay. You know, there's different websites that can help you raise money, like GoFundMe, you know, where you could just raise money from people. Or, yeah, there's so many different ways. Or reach out to family members and say, listen, can I get a couple $100, you know, to start something? And you'd be surprised that you don't really need a lot of money to get going. You don't. If you have $1,000, you're in business. You know, you have $500, you're in business. Just you need to get a host. Someone to host a website, dirt cheap, GoDaddy.
Okay.
If you want to start with GoDaddy, I don't use GoDaddy right now, but in the beginning, that's what I use.
What do you use?
I'm sorry?
What do you use? Bluehost?
No. Now I do something a little different. I actually use something called AWS, Amazon Cloud Hosting.
Yes, but, I just saw 2 other people to switch their sites to AWS. I got to learn this.
Yeah, I've been using it. Oh, yeah. AWS.
Ruined my Sunday.
Amazing. Yeah, AWS is it's a really good host. It's really good. It's a little techie. There's not, you know, it's not as easy as oh, see you later.
Bye. We love you, Anna.
Take care. Thanks for coming.
I'm so sorry. I could listen to this forever. It's so exciting.
No. Thank you. It'll be recorded.
Yeah. We all meet again, right?
Yeah. We'll all do it again. Take care.
Bye, cutie.
Salud.
Salud.
So Matt, essentially is just keep on working wherever you're working and just set up a budget where you say, okay, I'm making X amount of dollars per month and I want to have X amount of dollars in 6 months. So you just set up a simple Excel sheet to figure out how much you need to save every single month to reach that goal. You got to have these metrics and goals in place, you know? So say, for instance, you're like, okay, I researched the website, I researched the sources, I researched this and that, and I know that I need $500 or $1,000 to get started. Sure. So now let me take control of the situation and say, now I'm going to set aside this amount of money every single month or week, whatever it may be, to reach that goal. And once I reach that goal, then boom, I move forward. So then it's like chess. You move forward and then you keep on going, and then you make another good move, and then another good move, and then another good move. And then before you know it, you're starting to scale. You know, it's all chess. You got to just think it out. You know, you got to think it out, and then set up a plan. Without the plan, you can only go so far. The plan is the framework. You got to have the plan, and then you got to have the daily tactics. What are the daily tactics to achieve that plan, to achieve the goal, rather? So, you know, you don't need any money in the beginning. Just all you got to do is set up the system to get the money, and then you make your move, and then make another move. You got to be bold in business, in my opinion. You got to really be. You got to be a rebel to some degree. You got to just say, okay, I'm not going to wait for anybody to give me permission.
Right.
I'm just going to take control of my life and, you know, acquire these funds however I'm going to acquire them, whether I take out a loan, whether I fund with credit cards.
Right.
You know, a lot of my business in the beginning, I just credit cards, man, as well. Just tons of credit cards. And I don't recommend that to everybody. You got to really be disciplined to know what you're doing.
Sure.
You could get yourself in a lot of trouble if you don't know what you're doing. But
if you do know what you're doing, if you know plenty of
yeah,
0%,
exactly.
Zero.
Exactly.
And it's almost like a business loan without having to go to a bank. And then within 5 consistent payments, they double your credit line.
Yes, exactly.
So I set up an auto payment to make sure that I'm never late on a payment, particularly if it's a Love from Argentina credit card.
Right.
Also interesting, you know, when you're talking about a certain amount of money to get started, it's not really so much about the seed money to get started, but it's also to have a team of people who are willing to give of their time. So time is my most valuable asset. So I bill myself out at a certain hourly rate, and I consider that my commitment to this company. So other people who are, I love the smarter than I am, you know more about, I always want to be in that circle. I want to be with a circle of people who are teaching me stuff and raising the bar higher, and then I almost don't want to speak because I'm so afraid. But there's something wonderful about mentors and people who are, and particularly for me, people who are septuagenarians, octogenarians, people who are really in their 70s and 80s, who teach me so much about quality of business, quality of customer care. It really spreads out through digital and communication and being genuine. Always works. All authenticity. You said before, content is king. I think also authenticity is important. You know,
absolutely.
Great content, but I don't want to just spew some text broker crap. I really want to get it and come from my own experience. I want to write stuff that really makes a difference and hopefully help someone out. So this is just about us and a tea company, and Anna and I are both over the moon that we even got into this Google chat with you.
Yeah.
But there's something about propelling entrepreneurialism and following your passion and making a difference in the world that really is why we're doing what we're doing. I mean, I think if you can work for someone, I talk to teenagers about this, if you can work for yourself 10% of the time and 90% for someone else, and then change those averages, 80-20, 70-30, 60-40, eventually you're going to become 100% entrepreneurial, working for yourself and working in something that you're passionate about, something that you enjoy. Then it's not work. It's not work. It's like, oh, damn,
passion.
Friday. I don't want it to be. I want it to be Monday again.
Yep. So true. So true. You said it. You said it perfectly. Wow. Yeah.
Here, I mean, the way you put together Circle of Drink, I think encapsulates so much more than tea.
Yeah.
You know, it's, you know, to sit in a circle and to be able to have no one higher than anyone else, to have people equally able to intercommunicate is a symbol, it's a brand. And coming from the same thing, which is love from Argentina, you know, we want to propel the feeling of belonging, of being accepted, and being able to freely express yourself. So there are so many things here beyond tea, but I'm really impressed with just not only this talk, but everything that's been said. This is
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, I'm right there with you because my company, if I really look back at it, started in 1 second. I know that 1 second. It was that 1 second, the first day I was in Argentina in 2009, and everyone has heard the story already where just total strangers invited me to sit down and just drink mate, share the same gourd, and I was just so astounded. I said, wow, I'm from New York. And this doesn't happen in New York. You know, New Yorkers.
New York? Where?
Yeah.
Wait. Born and raised?
I was born. Yeah. I was born in Queens and raised on Long Island, and lived back in the city for about 10 years.
Manhattan, Upper West Side.
Oh, nice.
Fifth West End.
Hey,
yes, New Yorker. Salute.
FDNY right there. Come on. My whole family lives in Staten Island, New York. So there you go.
Yes.
10-minute walk from the ferry.
Here we go. It's not an accident.
Anna college together in Ithaca in upstate New York. So
get out of here.
Yeah. So I've known
That's
Anna
awesome.
for a couple of years.
Wow, we're all in good hands then. We're all in good hands.
Yeah, seriously. I've been surprised how many people from New York I've met here in Denver. There's a bunch of people from New York here.
Yeah, we're all over the place. You know, you can't stop us.
I know.
No, anybody outside of New York, still welcome. Still welcome.
Yeah, you're still welcome. Don't worry. We welcome you. We're friendly.
Yeah, seriously.
And that was it. You know, the first day when they invited me to the circle, that was before the company, before I even had ideas about the company. It was just that when I look back at it, that was when really everything begun, because it was that whole acceptance, that factor of acceptance.
Love it.
And I was like, wait a minute, how do I extrapolate this and then expand it into this organization that I now will call Circle of Drink? And that the foundation was always that one circle where acceptance. So for me, my whole foundation has always been, just be open to everybody that comes your way, and you'd be surprised how many customers you'll build just by being nice to everybody, to be respectful to everybody, even when customers sometimes will go crazy on you. There's been times when customers will go nuts and try to provoke you. You just got to always just be a good person when you're dealing with business, and everything works out. It sounds a little, I know, like corny, whimsical.
No, sounds real.
Yeah,
real. People are the way to go. I thank them.
Yeah, exactly. I thank them.
There's nothing against, no resistance. Thank you. I'm so glad you pointed that out. That's so awesome. I couldn't, be more grateful for the feedback. I'm a New Yorker. Shoot straight. Be mean.
Yeah. From New York.
Oh my God, that's so true. There's been times when, I just responded in kindness to a customer, and then just by doing that, they didn't even want to proceed with whatever they wanted to do, like return. Like I said before, you'd be surprised, person. And a lot of the times, you just can't take it personal in business. When somebody comes at you, they're teaching you things that you may not have known about yourself or known about your brand. I've learned, honestly, so much from complaints and customers where people who are just like, Dave, did you think about this? Did you think about that? And I never take it personal. I don't care how crazy someone comes at me. I always look at it like, okay, this is just more information for me to learn and apply. And these customers are the best ones, the ones that actually are frank with me. I love that. I accept that because that makes me stronger. That makes me grow. That makes me do a better job.
Right. You got to pull out promotionality. You can't take it personally. You got to look at it as a growing experience. We're involved. Yeah. I totally take stuff personally, so I pretend like I know.
Yeah. We're human, We're going to take things personally.
Later.
Yes. So how do you feel, Matt? You feel like you got a nice little basis? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I've asked pretty much all the questions that I wrote down, or you answered without me asking the other ones that I had. So I definitely feel a lot more comfortable and kind of have a direction.
In terms of funding, I just wanted to also mention funding. Nowadays, as you know, with like the whole crowdfunding, when you accept money from other people, that's cool. I never really went that route. There's other ways you could go now with these other companies that basically give you something called working capital loans. So basically a working capital loan is when a company is able to look at your metrics and say, okay, well, this person has these amount of sales. This person has this amount of credit worthiness or whatever it may be. So for instance, I've taken loans from different companies like Cabbage. Cabbage is a company just like this where you essentially plug in your bank account or your payment processor. You give them permission to basically observe your transactions. And then when they look at your transactions and say, okay, well, this person, let's say, sells whatever, thousands of dollars per month, then what they'll do is they'll give you a loan based upon those transactions.
Okay.
So that's why I'm really big on PayPal, because PayPal has these working capital loans where it takes about a year or two. You've got to build up a relationship with them first.
I just got one.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Oh, yeah. They're great, those loans, because they only deduct the amounts from your sales.
Okay.
So you could grow.
Is cabbage spelled with a K?
Yeah, cabbage with a K. Yep.
Okay.
Cabbage is a little different. They take the money once a month from you, which is okay. But I like the PayPal a little bit over cabbage, because PayPal, say for instance, they give you whatever, $5,000. You could set it up in a way where they either take 10, 20, or 30% per transaction. So you're not obligated to pay them back every week or every month. It doesn't work that way. They take a little percentage, 20, 30% from every sale. So you grow as you continue to sell and expand your business. You could take on more money from them and then pay them back, and they'll give you more money. So it's a good
scalable
way.
option. Makes you more scalable. But I
Those are the things that make you more scalable.
I want them to take it 10 to 15%. I don't want them to take it monthly. I would rather them do it per transaction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So these are the foundations you got to start thinking about, Matt, because with PayPal loan, you need at least to probably do, I think you need $10,000 or $20,000 a year with them at least in sales. And I know you're not there yet, obviously.
Sure.
But if you're thinking on this level, my whole point is, if you're thinking on this level now, then you'll be able to see the opportunities as you grow. You got to think ahead. Like, I'm thinking 10 years ahead right now.
Oh, it's like at least
you got to think way out into the future. So don't just think about the immediacy. Think about the future.
We're futurists.
That's it.
Right.
Now, I'm so sorry. Now I have to go.
No. Thank you, Pamela.
It's been a pleasure. I was like, I'm going to be here for 10 minutes. I'm as good.
You got sucked into the circle.
Interesting. Oh my goodness. This was.
We'll do it again.
So amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank
from
you.
the bottom of my heart. We are so connected.
Thank you.
You are not getting rid of us. We are going to do this together.
Awesome. No, I'm so happy.
I'm thrilled.
Thank you
so much, guys. Have a brilliant weekend.
You too.
You too. Thank you. I'll see you again.
Well.
Yes. So, Matt, I'm happy that you were able to kind of, get the input from all of us.
Yeah.
And, I hope I was able to help you and help people who are watching this.
No, you definitely did. I mean, you like I said, answered everything.
See you later, Ross. Thank you, man.
See you later, dude. Yeah, no, I mean, the amount of information that you just gave me was great, and it was all, but all the answers were great. It's I don't feel overwhelmed, which is good. I was worried that maybe there'd be so much information I wouldn't even know what to do with once I left, but I definitely feel like I know where I should be going, which is good. Good.
And always feel free to reach out to me. You have my email. Definitely help you out. Like I said, I like to help people. There are some aspects of my business where I'll consult with other companies and things like that, and that's all great. But there's a lot of part of what I do where I'll just help people for free too. So it's not all about transactions, financial transactions. So I'm happy to help, and that's why I love making this video for the world to see. Yeah. Hopefully this inspires people. So yeah, man, awesome little circle.
Yeah, no, it was great. And do you have time for one more question, if possible?
Absolutely. Yeah. Please,
cool.
Let's keep going.
Because this one is a little more directed at tea and mate. So this would obviously be something that I would need to think about further on, but regardless.
Yeah.
With tea and mate, at first glance, it's not the most accessible thing. I mean, you look at mate and it's like, what the hell is this? You got to get the straw thing and this cup and this tea and whatever. And it's the same thing with loose leaf tea. You got to get a gaiwan, or you need a kiyusu, or you need all this stuff. What did you find was the best way to make mate specifically feel accessible? Because I feel like so many people could have just gone onto your website and bought tea bags, or just gone on the website and bought tea and French pressed it. But you're selling gourds left and right and bombijas. How how do you make that seem accessible to people?
Right. So basically, this ties back to the education and building the community. So, as you probably have recalled, when I first started getting into mate, I intentionally of me talking about mate, drinking it the traditional way. That was my intention from the beginning, to always have a video of me, whether I'm talking about preparing mate or different types of mate, to have this. So I knew that I needed to become the symbol.
Right.
Symbol to translate this message of how people drink this out of a gourd. So that's why I created all these free videos. You got to create educational videos and explain things to people, right? So you may just start a YouTube page before you even do anything. You may just start a YouTube page and say, okay, guys, you know, these are the different teapots. These are the different types of ceramic cups. These are where you could get them. You may not even be selling them at this point. That's irrelevant. It doesn't matter that you're not selling them. In the beginning, it's about education, building up trust. So YouTube has been one of the best ways to do this. Right? And just create as professional as you can videos, whatever you have, camcorder or computer, and just start educating. Because think about it, you're just one person physically. How do you make yourself 1 million people? I'll tell you how to make yourself 1 million people. The internet. So right now, there's people in every single country on earth watching me speak, as I'm speaking to you right now, throughout all my videos. I have hundreds of videos. I have hundreds of automated emails going out 24/7. I got all these little processes happening 24/7, which allows me to duplicate myself, you know, 100-fold, 100,000-fold, 24/7. You got to think non-linear. Stop, you know, never just think like one line. It's like if you go fishing, you could either fish with one line or you could fish with a whole net. I'd rather fish with an entire net, you know? So for you to kind of sum up that question is education. Start to, you know, in the beginning, you kind of just want to go after everybody. Yeah, some people may say, no, that's not smart. You want to have your niche. You want to have your demographics. No, in the beginning, in my opinion, especially within the tea industry, is to kind of just, and then as you begin to get sales and people start to kind of tell you, because a sale is a testament to what people want. As you begin to get the sales, you begin to form metrics. Once you have the metrics, you can say, whoa, well, 90% of the people who buy from me are buying pure yerba mate. They're not buying this type or that type, or they're buying this type of bombisha. Or some people, like for instance, let me give you a real world example. After 2 years of starting my business, I started to get calls from people who just flat out told me, they're like, Dave, I saw your videos, but I just want to be frank with you. I don't care about the bombisha. I don't care about the gourd. I just like to drink mate from the French press. Is that cool? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I started to get all these calls from different people, like doctors and lawyers and even some celebrities, which, you know, I'm not going to name them, but just different people. And so then I realized, whoa, that's another market. Wow, it doesn't have to be just about the gourd and the bombisha. So then I pivoted right away. I started, a pivot is when you deviate from your normal course and create another avenue. So then I started making videos about French press. How do you prepare mate in a French press? How do you prepare mate in a teapot? How do you prepare mate this way? And that opened up a whole nother channel who were initially intimidated of making the mate this way. And then they were like, oh, now I can make it out of a French press. So you just got to have your mind open. Exactly. Yeah, I was just saying, you just got to have your mind open. You got to keep your mind, you know, so open, so nimble. Your mind needs to be so nimble so you can see the opportunity, and then you could say, okay, move in that direction, move in that direction, move in that direction, you know? So, you know, that's the one thing I keep on stressing, non-linear thinking.
Yeah.
You know, your thinking cannot be linear. You have to think crazy almost. You got to be like, your mind needs to explode with ideas. Like if you follow me in my marketing, you see my marketing is all over the place, but there's a rhyme and reason to what I'm doing. You know, it may seem like it's all over the place sometimes, but I have my own internal metrics of seeing the world in a different way. So my marketing could be all over the place, but it's really working because I figured out these little avenues that are almost like metaphysical avenues that I'm able to navigate. And it's working. So
clearly
always take risks. Yeah. So yeah, man, I think you're on the right course.
Yeah.
You got a lot of information to build a good foundation.
Yep.
And it's just about believing in yourself, man. Believe in yourself.
Yeah,
If
that's
you
what
believe in
stopped me for the longest time, but you know, I'm there now.
Dude, once you believe in yourself, man, you're unstoppable, man. Like, honestly,
Right.
you believe in yourself, then you inherit the power of the universe within you.
Right.
Once you have that power of the universe within you and you know that it is, you're unstoppable. Nobody can stop you, man.
Yep.
Awesome,
Oh man, I don't have any more specific questions. I mean, if there's any last things that you want to impart on me, please do. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, you've really nailed it.
Yeah.
For me.
The last thing I'll say is this: you know, there's going to be times as you grow where, you know, the world is going to come down and collapse upon you in terms of your business. Things are going to happen, like your website's going to crash, or you're going to have some crazy customer, or your packages are going to be seized by the government. You know, when always just be like, okay, man, everything is a learning experience. Even when these quote unquote bad things happen,
Right.
and your business becomes, you know, it takes a hit, don't look at that as bad. Look at that as a learning experience. Because you need these adjustments to happen. You need these kind of bad things to happen as you grow, because it makes you a stronger business person. A lot of people in the beginning, bad things happen, they're like, oh my God, my life is over. I'm not meant to be in business. I'm not meant to push forward, and they stop. No, that's a dream killer. Don't kill your dreams. Look at all these things as learning experiences, absorb them, pull them apart, you know, put them back together, and then just move forward and forget about any negative sentiment that may have been, you know, created. Just forget about it and move forward, move forward, move forward. And that's it, man.
Yeah.
You'll be all right.
Perfect.
Well, dude, thank you so much, man. You inspired me too. You know, being able to share this was an inspiration for me. So thank you so much.
Of course, and thank you, man. I mean, I can't, you know, thank you enough. That was so helpful, and I'm going to be rewatching this video over and over,
dude,
writing down all those names, and
definitely
getting it all set. So you'll definitely be. I'll keep you in the loop, man. So
yeah, keep me in the loop. You have my email too. We'll be in touch, man.
All right, dude. Well,
all right, brother. Salute, and thank you everybody who watched the video. Appreciate it.
Yeah, salute, man. Have a good one.
Salute. You too.